Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream. I forgot to remove the lens cap from the... There we go. I'm very awake. I totally didn't just get out of bed like 20 minutes ago. Uh... I didn't really stop to look at the new launcher, so I don't really have any opinions on it yet. My only thought is, oh no, they changed something. That ain't good. And I'm not overly wrong. It's probably broken in a few ways. Let's be real here. This is cryptic, changing something pretty massive. I am fully expecting it to be broken in a lot of ways, or to have caused things to break elsewhere. I mean, I'm also just a sucker for the old launcher because it's old. It's nostalgic. Yeah, I know. And it was something that was coming. Like, I'm not complaining about it. I'll just always have a soft spot for the old launcher because, well, it's an old game. It should look old. Now, we gotta kill a Lavoth and deal disruptor damage in space. That disruptor damage in space is probably the easiest. I basically have to acquire the item on this character is the rule I've gone with, because otherwise I could literally just come in here and, well, grab a couple tier 6s from there, grab 3 tier 6s from there, grab a tier 6 from over here. The only exception I made was for my, my Carfe. And that's purely because all of these tier 5s are effectively... They are effectively the Jem'Hadar bug ship. Which I believe is at the end of this line? No. This line. No? One of them. There's a Jem'Hadar bug ship in here somewhere. That's tier 5U. There it is. That literally by default is 1,000 dilithium, and then the moment you join a fleet gets even cheaper. Like, this is a fleet tier 5U ship. It's not even a standard tier 5U, it has too many consoles for that. So, you know. Given, that, 11 is usually a fleet ship for console slots. I say usually because there are some just tier 6s with 11 consoles, and then Miracle Workers come along and they can have 12. Like... But yeah, that's the only reason why I'm using the Carfe. Because I just prefer flying carriers. Yeah, I mean, I could buy tier 6 ships with if I had the fleet tokens. I just don't have the fleet tokens and have yet to earn them. Or open my wallet. Like, I could, you know. Let's see. There we go. Intel Battlecruiser. It's not the ship I'd go for, but, you know. The ship that I'm actually most likely to pick up first with fleet tokens fleet ship requisitions is this. Because I like me some carriers. It's basically about as far as that goes. I like me some carriers. And this one isn't awful. Though I also may not pick it up because, like, I'm not going to have the carrier skills is the problem. I honestly wish that they would come in here and basically just make all of, all of the tier 5 and lower premiums just dilithium. They already did it with the 1s to 4s, probably because they weren't selling anymore, and I highly doubt the tier 5s sell that much either, given literally even looking up, like, hey, what are some tier 5s that are worth picking up? For the most part, you find people going, well, if you like the look of this one, it's like, no, what ones are, what consoles are, what are worth it? It's like, none, really. Because the tier 6s tend to directly replace them. Like, there is no reason to grab the Orion Marauder flight deck carrier because the tier 6 exists. And literally, this was just a flight deck carrier. Don't even think it has a universal. Nope. Their unique universal is their hangar pets. So this is literally, there is no benefit to this ship. Why is it locked behind $20? No one's buying it. This thing just makes me sad. Because this used to be free. And can't tier 5 you either. I should actually get going doing the endeavors. Yeah, I was gonna do the damage in space first. Let's just 9th rule it. Actually, no, there's a faster one. I think it's Aftermath. Well, let's do Aftermath anyway. Because I'm still waking up. So I really don't want to throw myself right into ground combat.
This is Cooperative Cube 1138. We are here to help.
Okay, yeah, it is this one I was thinking of. And funnily enough, we're fighting the Voth. So we're literally just bullying the Voth today.
Thank you for... Thank you. We'll make our way to a base to complete repairs.
Well, Hangar pets threw some torpedoes at them. Game. They're ready to launch more. I don't know why it breaks so often with this character. I've never had the hangar launching break on my main. My only thought is maybe it's because I have traits that work with launching hangar pets. I think that is the only thing I can think of. Yeah, I might just do that, my man. I think I just accidentally phase shifted and then unphase shifted again. I gotta remember not to press that button more than once. It still worked. I mean, it breaks the target. That's all that really matters.
Thank you for tracking a large force incoming. Preparing to set station.
Or hangar pets. Discovery marks. Now we can get discovery rolling again. Yeah, once we start getting to the point of getting the fleet ship modules, we'll get roughly 4 of them at roughly the same time. Because we'll be finishing Iconia, New Romulus, Omega, and Discovery at roughly the same time. They're all around the same progress. They're not at the same progress, but they're around the same progress. There we go. There's our disruptor damage dealt. You were supposed to go into the thing. Well, he has Action Beam 3. That'll be, yeah. Protonic Polaron. That was our Gorn candidate. My brain was like, wait, I should check that EV suit. It's like, no, I shouldn't. Mine's better. Can I move this one? Nope. Maybe I'll... Yeah, I want you in the candidate thing. Do not remember how to make them a candidate. Oh, well. They can clog up inventory space, I guess. Now, I am trying to brute force my way into the Klingon tour of duty. I suppose another exception I made to the Iron Man was using my Admiralty things, because Admiralty is not as important as a lot of people seem to think it is. I mean, it's not useless, but, like, there's only really... In my opinion, there's only 2 of these that are even worth looking at. That being the Klingon, and until you've got set up the Ferengi. The Romulan one isn't awful, but... If this was, like, 20 Romulan Republic Universal Tech upgrades, sure. But this is 10 days, because I have not seen a tour of duty show up twice in one day. Plus, they take 20 hours anyway. So it's 10 days for 4 half a Phoenix token. So basically 2 Phoenix tokens. In 10 days, you could have roughly 38, 39 Phoenix tokens on average. You have really no need for these at all. They're just not worth the effort. And, well, you'll be leveling up just fine on your own. Ugh, hiccups. And I mean, like... This is probably the only one that will always be useful, because it's basically fleet progress. Now, if you're in a fleet that is completed, none of them are useful to you. So, you know, that's fun. The Admiralty system really needs a bit of a rework. Like, quite honestly, what I would like to see from these is... If they're gonna give specialization points, this should at least be 10. 1 per day, basically. That way, you know, it's decently worth it. This is mostly fine as is. 40,000 dilithium over 10 days. That's roughly 4,000 a day. That's roughly what people donate to their fleets anyway. That basically just doubles someone's normal donations. That's fine. But hey, if they want to bump this up to 6,000, that would be nice. As mentioned, 10 to 20 of these instead of 4. 20 would be preferable, because that's 10 Phoenix tokens at least. 1 per day. And this, like... I know the argument is, oh, well, it's so you can basically brute force through it on an alt and get the 30,000 dilithium every 10 days. But that isn't going to sustain that alt. So, and the regular just brute forcing the Ferengi one probably isn't going to either. Because the way you get the most dilithium out of Admiralty is going through and doing only ones that give you dilithium. Which some days the Ferengi just won't. They're pretty frugal like that. I think frugal's the right word. Temperamental works. Like, if this was enough to actually last you 10 days, sure, I could see that argument. But as it stands, 30,000 dilithium ain't much. Like, where is my calculator? Buried in this mess of paper towels I've used to keep myself from burning my hands. That's where. Or not. My calculator has gone missing. Phone, you'll work with a calculator. Oh boy, I gently bumped the plug. The phone is not charging anymore. Love USB-C. So great. So great. Like, that is not even 4 days worth of dilithium. And it takes 10 days to get. It's just not worth it. Now for me to fight with my phone to see if I can get it charging again. This is why I don't touch my phone when it's charging. There we go. Can we just all go back to the USB 2.0 standard? That was so much better. Well, B or whatever it is. The one that had the little hooks on the top of it that kept it plugged in. I think I have one of those cables sitting around here. Because it's for my my battery. Yeah, this one. It's not gonna focus, is it? The webcam sees me too well. Oh, it is these handy little hooks. I hit the wrong side. Handy little hooks so you can actually kind of see that, you know, held it into the device. Of which I know the argument. The argument I've heard as to why that standard was bad was apparently, and I say apparently because I have legitimately never had one of those cables fail on me. At least in this way. Apparently, if you plug things in and unplug them a lot, those little hooks will stop working. They might break off. And then it just loosely floats in the device and can fall out really easily. So the whole argument for why that standard is bad is because it might break and become a USB-C cable. Like, that is basically the argument. But USB-C is so good. It's just so good. No, I will never not complain about this because it's... USB-C is an active annoyance. Like... But nah. It's such a great standard, don't you know? I'm the crazy one. I'm the one that doesn't understand. It's not like I lived through the evolution of micro USB and know what is good. Especially where, like, the argument is, oh, well, data transfer rate. Like, great. So, improve the USB 2 standard. Instead of completely changing the standard. That's something that, you know, activists have been asking for years, is stop changing the standard. That's why Europe has finally put its foot down and went, alright, let's stop changing the standard every 3 to 4 years. Because there's no need to change the external of the plug. You could probably fit all of the same technology, hell, you definitely could, into like a micro USB port, like a micro USB plug. You could probably fit all the same technology from USB-C into that housing, because that housing was bigger. There was more room. You definitely could have done it. But they didn't. Because of course they didn't. That'd be too easy. They gotta change the standard, make you buy whole new cables, because that's the only way cable companies make money, is when you're buying their cables. If you're not buying their cables, then they're not making money. It's also why buying, a USB cable from that big reputable company is not always a good idea, because they need you buying more cables. If you're not buying more cables, you're not giving them more money. So they're probably not actually giving you good quality cables, because they want you coming back and buying more cables, because that's how they make their money. These are seen as disposable items. Now, these definitely are. The full expectation with a cable like this is, oh, let's give them something like this with the product, so that we can say we gave you a USB cable. And then you have to come and buy a new cable. Like, it's manufactured waste, basically, because very few people are actually going to use that cable. It's too short, basically. For me, it's just fine, but that's because I have a lot of ways of plugging things in right close to somewhere to set them on. But not a lot of people do, because apparently they don't like putting tables next to their plugs in a way that makes any logical sense. Instead, they put their tables far away from their plugs, so they need long cables. Oh boy, damage. You didn't want that, my man. Yeah, I'll go this way. We got a lot of Voth we need to kill. I'm gonna destroy your mech with knives. And yes, I can rant and ramble about just about everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have around here somewhere. Not right on my desk. But I have an old external hard drive that uses the original micro USB. And like, it's one of those things, like, I don't understand what the problem with it is. Because, like, oh, but data transfer. It's like, yeah, but I never want anything off of that hard drive in a hurry. If I have something I know I'm going to want in a hurry, it doesn't get put on an external hard drive. It gets put on my primary hard drive, so that I may have it in a hurry. That's not a hard drive anymore, it's an SSD. You know. Why would I actively do something that's going to make accessing that data more complicated and time consuming if I wanted it fast? Which generally then gets followed by the, oh, well, what about charging? Well, okay, let's add a dedicated charging port to a phone instead of a USB-C cable. That way, you know, you could plug in a charger to it that, say, is gonna deliver, let's say, 80 watts of charging. You know. You know, basically allow you to plug in effectively a laptop charger into your phone. That would surely charge your phone faster than a USB-C cable does. I say knowing full well that there are some laptops that are like, hey, so let's charge via USB-C. It's like, why? A dedicated barrel jack is going to be better. But now, once again, I'm the crazy one. Any actual Voth want to show up? Like... These turrets don't count. I need actual Voth. But, I mean, as I've mentioned, like... I am a very opinionated person. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. And while I always basically follow the belief of if I'm wrong, correct me, I know I'm not wrong on USB cables. USB-C sucks. You will never be able to convince me otherwise. And objectively, it is just... The only good thing about it is the data transfer rate, which is mostly irrelevant. So, you know... When the only good thing about it is something that doesn't really matter... Of which I'm sure there are people who would be like, oh, but this or this. It's like, doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Ow. I mean, like, it's just annoying. And, well, wasteful. Hey, thanks for reviving your buddy so I can kill him again. Man, the battle zone's so great for earning marks and stuff. That's already completed. Oh, everywhere is. Okay. It's dinosaur time. Which basically means it's time for the dinosaurs to just explode. I don't even know how to get into this one. Will I maybe get there in time? Nope. It's gonna be dead before I get there. And this is why Universal Endeavor Day sucks. Because there's literally no point of me even being here. I didn't even get within weapons range. Like, imagine that, but have like 10 groups of people just waiting around this, because why wouldn't they? And now I get to wait, because I need more Voth. I don't really care about that thing. I really wish it was possible to make your own private instances. That would be very nice. The Voth Fortress has engaged transporters. Troops inbound. Yeah, the zone resets in 3 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can get to the side I like more, which is the north. Okay, that's apparently not the guy. Where do I spend these stupid tokens? Oh, okay. I think I understand. I probably don't. I said, oh, okay, but I don't think I actually understand. Well, I have an endeavor point to spend. What do we get? Mostly garbage, but I guess I'll take this. 1 point of resist. Our duty officers will be finishing up in about an hour, where we will get our duty officers. I have yet to find my dilithium. I spent a little too much dilithium last time. Phone, stop it. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Which is basically just playing a thing so that it doesn't go to sleep, so I can keep an eye on whether it's charging or not, because USB-C is such a trustworthy standard. And, like, I will admit, I have some USB-C cables that work okay. They're not great. If you touch the ground near it and it's soft ground, it will stop charging. Ironically, it's one of the cords I have is a really short one. It stays on my bed, basically. Because my bed is right next to a wall plug. At the height to use the wall plug. Oh, hey, it's Swarmer. Is it just not caring about the fact it was just shot? Yeah, because it's aggroed on me. For some reason. If only those counted. Wow, 3 whole Dyson marks. That's so many. This is totally more productive than just clicking a random and then giving yourself Dyson marks at the end.
Back to your stations. The bots have returned.
One more Voth to go. I was not aware you could get an endeavor to just kill Voth on the ground. I thought it was always the battle zone. $260 DPS. I've seen this knife in like the 600 range on my main. Which is kind of like... I know I ramble about ground combat a lot because I'm just not a fan of it, but that's kind of exemplifies one of the issues of ground combat. Like, my main that isn't even terribly well equipped, but is equipped with a bunch of lockbox crap, basically, is, you know, because I spent the money to get the lockbox crap, is already such a huge amount ahead of this character who has none of that. When even using the exact same weapon. Like, it would be really nice if, like, they could do a balance pass of everything, but balance passes aren't how you get more money. Not in the short term, anyway. The long term, yeah, because you'll have more people playing your game. But in the short term, you make more money by just releasing more power crept stuff, power creeping absolutely everything, and letting, you know, letting people get more and more powerful so they just keep buying more and more things. Especially where that power tends to be locked behind lockboxes or premium ships or, you know. Hey, I've done it. Let's see. I could use some Undine marks because I'm out of those. And oh boy, I'm up to 24 of the thingies. I think there's more I can, well, I could have picked up over there. Okay, I'm at 30. I think that's a solid, it's a solid 3 marks. Hell yeah. So I don't have enough to get any of the others. You'd have to spend so long here to Swarmer, please. Voth guy, please. I'm leaving. Let me leave. Okay. Let's make our way to Gnalda. Yeah, I may as well do this. Like, that is kind of a thing with, like, them adding the new launcher. It's like, was that really the best use of their time? Like, not all of, but at least a fair few of my issues with ground combat would go away if they would balance ground. Like, a key example, and people would hate this, which is why they're never gonna do it. You know how, like, my kit here can't be re-rolled? And how, like, say, the Christmas kit can't be re-rolled? It's pretty safe to assume the Ryzen kit was never meant to be re-rolled either. And yet you can. And now everyone uses the Ryzen kit because you can re-roll it. You can literally force it to be better than everything else because you can re-roll it an infinite number of times until you get the exact modifiers you want on it. Helped by there aren't all that many modifiers, which that in of itself, like, basically means if you want to compete on the ground, you have to spend the basically 15, I think it's closer to 25, 30 mil at the moment, to get the Ryzen kit. Or wait until a summer event. And given the summer event just ended, that means it's basically an entire year away. With the literal two next best kits being unrerollable of the Christmas set, the Christmas kit, which is in here. In all of this crap that I'm sure some people don't even know it exists because there's just so much crap of this one. Because it comes with kit performance, kit readiness, and that is just the best stats. Because why would they balance the ground when they could just keep adding more power crept kit modules for you to abuse? You know? I mean, even within here, like, Anchor of Grethor is just ridiculous. It's basically Gravity Well on the ground for engineers only. I'm sure there's probably others in here that are also just kind of ridiculous. But, you know, it's this kit, or you can spend absolutely forever replaying this mission until this one finally rolls in a way that works for you and upgrades in a way that works for you. Like, I am currently content with the crit chance, crit severity from this, but I will just be replacing it. Probably with the Christmas kit. I mean, it's an old game. What do you expect? It's gonna look old. It's not that old, but, you know, it's an old game. I really want to do this on one of my other characters, but I want to make sure I get the progress from today. I'm already 50 ahead of where I thought I was going to be by the end of this. Yeah, I've got 7 hours to catch today so I can get tomorrow as well. Yeah. I just want this on one of my other characters because, well, this Iron Man is pretty set. I have basically 3 days worth of dilithium built up to refine. Now, back to mark grinding, basically. I would do more... Wrong button. I would do more of the elites that I know I can do, but I feel bad doing them at the point I'm at, so I'm just gonna go back to advanced. I know I can do them. I know I can do enough to actually get the reward at the end. But man, this character is not great. Honestly, until, like, the winter event, Tamara's probably not going to be great on the ground. That's just how it's gonna be. I keep getting bumped around. I'm gonna die. Yep. Nimbus. I didn't need shield healing. My guy, you really should be moving. You know, as much as I will probably be going for, the assimilated console is probably one of my first console grabs. At the same time, I still do not understand why so many people just spam the board queues over and over again. And I'll take the Omega marks. But now, well, I should really get some of these ones going again. I love how I started full out like, yeah, let's get competitive up, and, you know, that'll be one of the ones we focus on, and I just haven't. So, like, because, I mean, like, it has good rewards, don't get me wrong, I just I'm still trying to figure out how I'm even gonna fit them into my setup. Because, like, I know the thing is, oh, competitive engines, but the issue is, like, I like the cooldown bonus. I hate the movement speed bonus. Especially, like, if I were to add competitive engines right now with no other changes, this ship, based on using the Protostar stuff, wants to be at full throttle all the time. So a massive boost to my throttle. Yeah, that ain't gonna go well. Well, not throttle, but like my massive boost to my speed. It's gonna make me crash into walls and objects and things very quickly. Yeah, I'm already out of coffee. It's amazing how fast I drink coffee when it's not hot. That's why I stopped drinking iced coffee, honestly. Because I just drank it way too fast. I have no idea what my cat is doing. She's doing something. Probably shitting on the floor again.
Forces are attempting to grate.
Oh boy, this mission. I don't know this mission. I know it has an extremely long briefing time. Because, like,
First, there's a large number. First,
it's just so much you have to do. I'ma just follow somebody. How are people managing to take damage? Yeah. I guess this way. I guess. I get so lost in this place.
Terran reinforcements have arrived.
What is this thing again? Alright. Like, reflects damage.
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it. The crystal has been purified. Advance to the next one.
So we got people to throw knives into.
Terran reinforcements have arrived.
Crystal.
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it. Terran reinforcements have arrived.
That was a tasty critical. I wish I had more to talk about on the ground, but there just really isn't. Like, ground is just boring.
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it. The crystal has been purified. Advance to the next one. Terran reinforcements have arrived.
I think I'm being flanked. Yes, yes I am. Be good, Frisk.
Terran reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, I'm over here alone. I don't know where my buddy went.
Terran reinforcements have arrived.
That's kind of problematic. Yeah, it's kind of problematic that they were not here. I don't know where they went. Oh, I don't know how to get back to there. I think it's this way.
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it.
Wow, now everyone's here because this one took so bloody long.
Defend it. Terran reinforcements have arrived.
Suppose I'll just wait over here. Yeah, as nice as these knives are, I do think just using this would probably be better.
Defend it.
Yeah, I think this is actually just better. Oh, yeah. The knives are definitely better versus, like, the Borg, because then I don't have to adapt every 2 seconds, but, you know.
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it. Terran reinforcements have arrived. The crystal has been purified. Advance to the next one. Well done. Looks like the Terrans are retreating.
Now, to the spire!
Reading Terran transporter signals near the spire. Heads up. Return.
I was already there, but okay. Guess just mashing F. I'm gonna chill up here. Nice flat spot. Oh, Jesus Christ. I should not be this tired. I slept for way too long, eh? Thought they were gonna keep coming, but they just kind of stood there. Ow. Someone just shot me from somewhere.
Agonizer by one of the routes. Destroy it quickly.
I'm helping.
Get ready. The Terrans are sending in their elite forces.
I will forever find it kind of funny how the mirror universe Terrans are basically just
The Terrans
regular ass humans.
Destroy it. The Terrans quickly have enough.
Like, They're no joke, just us. Because, like, even with, like, oh, they're evil, there's a lot of their evil, like, mustache twirlers, but there's also some that are just decent people. It's just the majority of them are kind of evil. And yeah, that scans. It's just kind of how humans are. Okay, what of the reputations we've got going aren't going? Iconia. Let's grab some of those marks. Radiant anti-proton turret. If I was still using anti-proton. I mean, it's not a good weapon, but it at least has 10% critical severity built into it. And self-procs tend to be better than procs applied to the target. For basically the exact same reason why debuffs in competitive Pokemon are useless. You have no control over that enemy. Like, you have all the control over yourself. That is why self-boosting procs and, you know, self-boosting in general is better than debuffing. Now, I need coffee, so I'll be back in a moment. Alrighty. Back into grinding. I would continue setting up more Admiralty stuff to try to brute force the Klingon Tour of Duty, but it just ain't happening. I don't have enough ships. It's actually one of these ground queues I'm surprised hasn't popped, and that's because I'm pretty sure it's currently still the Universal Endeavor. It's the defeating the Tholian captain, where we universally you always fail the don't touch the acid bit because it's anyone touching the acid, and you lose the touch the acid bit, and someone's going to touch the acid. It's just how it be. Gods, I'm exhausted. Don't even know why I'm so exhausted. I just kind of am. Here's a cheek. Also readjusted my headset while I had the chance between that. While I was coming back.
Listen up.
Oh boy, more discovery marks. At least this makes sense. Like, discovery marks are one I can understand people wanting because of the Discovery 2-piece. Which we're closing in on being able to get, and I'm probably just going to get it the moment we can. Because we basically just need to unlock the torpedo. Or not the torpedo, the tactical console. We have the torpedo. And then we'll be replacing our torpedo with this torpedo. So that we can use the 2-piece. Alternatively, I could go phaser. And just use the dual beam. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here. The extra crit chance would be nice, but far from necessary. Especially given this is very much one of those instances where I don't matter. I just hope I can contribute enough to get a reward at the end. Because if you don't contribute enough, you don't get a reward. Which is partially why I greatly dislike it when min-maxers go back into, like, normal queues. Yeah, the problem if I were to go phaser and then use the dual beam would basically be that I don't have easy access to the crafted phaser Omni. Like, I have to craft it. Which also means... Oh, it's down to the last remaining ones. Which also means, I need to get my beam school up to 15.
Reading some heavier ships incoming. Raiders and battle cruisers.
Go, my children. Why can I not overload? What is preventing the overload? It might have been my weapon proc. That might be what does it. So I know I have one overload beam. I mean, another main reason why I dislike min-maxers going back into normal is that's literally why I quit playing the game for a while. Normal was just filled with min-maxers. Like, you couldn't get away from it. Which basically meant you really couldn't play the game if you weren't also a min-maxer. Like, it just wasn't fun. Of which I am fully aware. The argument against that is basically get good scrub. But like,
The Klingons are regrouping again. Get into position to prepare for the next assault. An evacuation ship is launching. Give them cover.
there's only so far get good scrub can go.
Klingon battleships. Keep fighting.
Especially given how this game works. Like, an easy example of, you know, of that is like, just using carrier builds. Like, if you want to compete with the highest level carrier builds, well, if you're Federation, I believe you require a extremely rare and extremely expensive lockbox ship so that you may unlock superior area denial. If you're Klingons, you require buying a really expensive trait off the marketplace so you can have superior area denial. It also being a thing that it no longer appears. So the number of that trait on the market, that's limited. Soon everyone is going to need the ship because cross-faction flying is a thing. So obviously you don't need access to this now retired ship. Actually, I don't think it's retired. I think it's just part of the Infinity Lockbox now, but still. That still requires Infinity Lockbox. Yeah, I just got a big set of discovery marks. So I'm actually going to take the fleet marks. I want temporal. I'm gonna want Terran as well, but temporal comes first. And hey, there's some stuff to loot, so I'm gonna loot it. Oh, jeez. Turn ship. And a phaser cannon. Yeah, it's kind of junk. Blue anti-proton mag. I kind of don't need that anymore, though. Not unless I swap to cannons. Because I now have literally in the bank another Bellum tac console for beams. It's, where did I put it? Right here. So, you know, if we had the room for it, I would be using it right now. There is a red alert event coming soon, though. So I will probably tier 5X this ship so I can get the extra console slot. And then we will be using that. Alternatively, I could swap back to the Jem'Hadar bug ship, but I feel like the one extra tac console is not worth losing the 2 hangar bays. So I'll probably just tier 5X the Carfei. So I get the Universal slot, and then I'll either just put this in the Universal or move this to the Universal. Because this is a pretty decent console. Though, honestly, a Bellum might honestly just be better. I don't know. Here's the issue. I've not found anyway. I can't say we don't know, because it's probably known. It's just hard to find. How much armor pen actually matters. Like, does this armor pen actually matter? Is it actually doing anything? And I know the argument would be, well, it's more DPS. It's like, yeah, but okay. Is it mattering enough to make up the difference in damage I'm losing from the smaller disruptor damage bonus? Like, that's, you know, that's where my question is coming from. Honestly, the 3-piece from this set is pretty alright. I kind of want to grab it, but I also don't want to replay that mission again. I also don't want to give up my prolonged engagement set. Because faster cooldowns. Though, let's be real, those cooldowns aren't mattering a huge amount. I'm going to try and keep the 4 anti-proton mags on hand, because you never know, I might eventually go back to anti-proton. Like, there is benefit to anti-proton on a really high crit chance set. The issue is building up all of that crit chance with using anti-proton. That's where the problem comes. Because, like, using anti-proton, we do lose out on the Martok 2-piece. Unless we do basically a beams setup. Where, like, through a mix of the advanced engineering consoles and the Bellum tac consoles, we just have basically nothing but beam damage bonuses. Then we could still use the Martok 2-piece. Just using the Martok Omni Beam instead of the anti-proton, the ancient anti-proton Omni. But I'm not sure how much that would even be worth doing, given I've never seen anybody do it. Actually, it just occurred to me, what is... Nah, I'm more than 500 away. Projected status to off. Get rid of it. Do not need it anymore. Because, like, we do still always have David. And, like, the extra console on David does make him pretty tempting to get. And then when the Red Alert event happens, Tier 5X David. It's kind of funny to me how literally we started as a Romulan. And I was like, you know what? I mean, David. You know, I may as well also, because I can. And if I'm going to allow myself the tier 5, I'm going to allow myself my reclaim. Right, I don't do it from there. My reclaim of my tier 1 to 4s, at least of the one that I know I want. Well, no, do I even have room for that? No, I don't. I'm supposed to be like, I'm going to grab Prismatic Leech, but I really don't have room for that. Because, like, I do have these ships, and, like, of them, I think this is the only one that actually has a universal that's worth anything. This thing just has the bioneural warhead, which I'm not going to be using. I don't know what this thing's universal is. Okay, it's a survivability console. This thing make you go fast. I don't remember where I got it from. I know I never bought it. But its console makes you go fast. That's about it. You go really fast and you can no longer turn. It's basically ramming speed minus the RAM. This console might actually be worth having. Maybe. I'd have to find room for it. Which, I mean, if it's a decent console, I could put it over this Singularity. Yeah, let's do that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what its name is. They put it in the tax slots. Yeah, that's not actually great. That's pretty awful. Oh. Generic emitter-linked phasers. Huh. Neat. Yeah, that's just not worth it. Our Singularity, launch Singularity is just kind of better. Yeah, before I forget, temporal. Let's get that going. Man, temporal defense, chronoton. I have so many temporal marks on my main, and I have absolutely no use for them. Because, like, there's just nothing to the temporal rep that my main uses. Let's see, is there anything? I haven't looked in a while. Nah, these are all at the point of needing duty officers, which this character doesn't have any to give. Especially of engineering. Like, I just don't have duty officers. If I could buy things from the fleet stores. It's the frustrating thing about this, of like, I could literally finish that project right now if I could buy things from the fleet stores, but they haven't realized I've donated over 100,000 yet, so I can't buy from the fleet stores. It's always fun. Gods, I should not be yawning. I literally slept from like 10 last night to 8 this morning.
The Herc
Oh, hey, it's this one. Oh, hey, someone's in the Farpoint ship. I don't know how well I'll actually do here. It's like, normally I can handle a whole lane by myself on my main. Wait, is there a... Oh, hey, there is. Now, is that the tier 6, or... Yeah. It's not the Recluse. The Recluse is the one I know, because, you know, I know someone who way back in the day spent a lot of time and effort grinding out the Recluse, and I don't think the Recluse even gets to tier 5. Peregrines, please. The Swarmers. My Peregrines say no, we don't want to shoot the Swarmers. Why would we shoot Swarmers? Shooting Swarmers is for nerds. Can you please stop shooting me? Shoot my hangar pets. They exist. Yeah, like that. Guys, if I don't get some help over here, we are not going to get these ones online. But we might. Okay, well, my side was done. Now I may as well wait over here and fix this satellite. Man, fighting swarmers is so much more annoying when you don't have superior area denial.
Satellite is back online. We'll launch tractor mines against the Hercules.
Come on, guys. Whatever satellite isn't repaired, repair it. It's way over there. Okay, Captain AFK, stop being a farpoint and press buttons.
The last of the refugee ship. Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them. Herc ship spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
Oh god, overloading is a bad idea here. Not overloading, fire willing. I forgot. I forgot. Not gonna lie, after seeing the Farpoint ship in action in normal, man, that thing looks just kind of broken. Like, the thing I'm thinking of is literally someone sitting one of those Farpoint things in just the center of Kobayashi, and everything died. Because it's a 10-kilometer circle, well, sphere of just damage output. Like, that's a bit silly. I mean, I get, oh man, it's a cute reference to, you know, early, TNG. But, man... Yeah, a lot of people seem to like this queue. Not overly sure why. There's a lot of the queues I'm just not... I don't understand.
Earth ship spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
Man, if I could fire at will here, that'd be kind of cool. But I can't. Because it'll start targeting the little lights.
All lanes will be utilized now.
Which, honestly, this queue is a pretty good argument as for why beam fire at will is just kind of garbage. Because it will target things you don't want it to target because it's completely random. Screw you. I can tractor beam you back. Honestly, I don't remember beam fire at will ever being any better than it is now. It's just everything else got buffed.
Earth ship spotted at escape
Or
route
at least
Gamma.
beam overload got buffed. Beam overload got a massive buff. By being more than one pulse, by, you know,
Ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them.
being a damage boost instead of a crit severity boost. Guys, we got shit to do. Am I the only one trying at the moment, guys? Man, I wish I had the 3-piece. I always remember seeing cannons in PvP. And birds of prey. But also the last I touched PvP was like 2012. So... big number was just what everyone went for. No thought past big number.
Get over there. Refugee ships heading down escape route Alpha. Protect them.
But like, I've never been a big fan of beam fire at will either, so I myself have just never used it. Might be why I've never noticed any nerfs to it. Purely because of it being so random. Like, sure, scatter volley is also random, but scatter volley is far more controlled random. Mostly because, well, cannons have a much narrower fire arc. You can more easily control what you're shooting at because, well, it's hitting targets within that 45-degree cone.
That's everyone.
Well, I need gamma marks anyway. Oh, I misread what you said. I thought you were saying PvP. I'm dumb. Yeah, if you're KDF aligned, come to the station. Grinalda. Instance 1. I don't know if there is more than one instance at the moment. Yeah, Lucari. I think that's literally, yeah, that's literally the first instance of gamma marks I've had. You can tell what I think of the gamma rep. Hey, maybe there was some traits I could have been using, but eh. Alright, duty officer stuff done. I don't think I got anything worth anything, but, you know. It's more duty officers. Do I have any? Yeah, I have her. Let's see. You know, I'm gonna take that out, put her in. I don't think I have any emergency subsystems. I could take that one out too. Well, I do have a gravity well, so you know what? I may as well do that. Because I do have the gravity well. I probably still have absolutely nothing decent for ground. Nope. That is the main thing that's going to be difficult with this Iron Man, is getting duty officers. Unless I feel like opening my wallet. Oh wow, $250. $150. It's closer to like 200 and like 325 for me, because Canadian, but you know. I mean, if I was Fed aligned, I could have these for, which honestly, they don't have awful abilities. It's just you can only claim this on Federation aligned captains. KDF also has a better station for chilling on. I don't remember which of these. It's fleet support. No. Delta. Delta's the one that I'd want to be opening. Though at the same time, Delta is one that I want to be opening on my main, because I would feel bad opening this, getting Scramble Fighters, and going, yeah, I'm gonna break rule of this character and give this to my main. Because Scramble Fighters. My main flies a carrier, and that is the only carrier trait I'm missing. That's of at least a decent amount of importance. Is this you? Okay, all I do is hover over and... Yes. Appears that way. Yeah. Now, I do want to check one thing first. Yeah, there's like 3 reputations left I need marks for. Good. Closing in on being done. With getting everything ready for at least a couple days. At some point I will go back to playing through story missions, because if I just spend every stream just grinding reputation stuff, every single stream, I imagine I will probably get decently bored of this very quickly. Oh, hey, Borgy Boos. Frickin' treaty breakers. Like, that cannot be denied. The Federation definitely broke that treaty. They broke that treaty many times. Hell, they broke the treaty and the agreement just by using the Defiance cloak in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. They literally were not supposed to do that, ever. They also weren't supposed to operate that cloak without literally a Romulan there to operate it for them. Will that probe get launched ahead of the others? Jeez, I hope I get enough contribution to get a reward. Can't help but feel advanced is a little too easy for you. But that's just kind of endemic of the power creep of this game. I did still get a reward. I don't really need Omega marks, though.
The scimitar has been destroyed, but several escape pods entering the vortex.
Yeah, I'll take more. I do kind of still need them.
Perhaps she can be liberated from...
Now, I will start with Terrans, because I definitely need more Terran stuff. Fair. My statement does still kind of stand, of that it's just kind of endemic of the power creep of this game. I mean, that can't be denied. If you've played for any amount of time, you know how much power creep has, well, happened. I mean, a case in point, I don't have them on this character, but way back, like, one of the best go-to PvE weapons was the Omega Force, anti-Borg beam arrays. Because they could deal 1,000 damage, and 1,000 damage was a lot. Like... They really need to do a balance pass on this game. And just balance things out instead of adding more and more power creep. I mean, it's still a fun game, but like, man... They really need to do something about the power creep. Come on, shirt. Unfold yourself.
Welcome to Pariah 3.
Oh boy, bug hunt. And oh boy, I could run through my tribbles. My 2 tribbles. My only hope is that they at some point make all tier 5 U's free at the very least. vanishes. I mean, I think I even say that because, like, at this point, there's just no real need or use for any of the tier 5s. If at least they got free tier 5 Ewing on all of them, at least then they wouldn't be basically the same price as a tier 6 while being just worse. Because even a bad trait is still a trait, and tier 5s don't get traits.
Careful, I don't know what's waiting for us at the bottom.
I do think after this queue I will probably stop for a bit, like, take a break from streaming for today. Because it is getting decently hot in here. It's not as hot today as it was yesterday, or even the day before for that matter, but it's still hot enough that it's uncomfy.
Fire in the hole! Watch that first step.
That is fair.
I think I can get us a... Cover me!
Two of my endeavors were kill Voth. One was just simply kill Voth on the ground, and the other was to kill Voth in the battle zone on the ground. I was not even aware there was multiple versions of that same thing. But you know, at this point... Oh god. Hope I never get that. I don't like ground combat. But, as much as I dislike this sort of thing, I do kind of feel like the best way they could tackle the power creep for this game would be to just add damage caps. Like, so you cannot deal more than a set amount of damage per attack. That would probably do a lot to fix the power creep issues. Though, as mentioned, I greatly dislike that as a solution. But that's because that's kind of the lazy solution. But this is Cryptic we're talking about. Which do I need more? Delta or Iconium? Iconium. And this can be Delta. Yeah, I mean, like, damage caps aren't the worst, they're just annoying. Because they are such a lazy answer to things. But it would probably solve a lot of the power creep if, like... I'm not saying this is the exact number they can go with. I'm just using this as an example. But, like, if all damage in space was capped at 20,000, cannot hit harder than 20,000. You know, that sort of thing. That would basically let them go, you know, no single hit can ever be higher than 20,000, so we can make this enemy actually a threat by giving them enough health that 5 players hitting them constantly for 20,000 isn't going to just melt them instantly. You know? While not needing to increase the damage output of that enemy much either. By just simply limiting the amount of damage the player can deal. The best solution would be for them to go through and just actually balance everything. You know, look at undoubtedly their internal spreadsheets and charts and go, oh, these are above the curve, we should nerf those. And these are below the curves, we should buff those. Instead of just going, people like phaser, right? Let's add more phaser, crit chance. Gotta give them more crit. We gotta give them more ways of dealing more damage. For all the ways that already deal more than enough damage. Like... It's just kind of sad having played this game for so long, so many years. And, like... seeing just how relatively balanced the game started to where it is now. I mean, it was not balanced in 2012 when I started, but it was more balanced. Engineering captains were still the worst, but, you know, we could do our part. We could tank, and tanking was actually important back then. Because there wasn't such stupidly high damage output that, like, everything just dies. Like, I'm actually going to quickly change characters. Because, like, I still have on my original character. You had to start a Fed, I don't know if you still do, to unlock KDF. But I think you just needed to be, like, I think it was level 35. And I got to that point, and created the KDF, deleted the Fed character. Like, I still have, sitting here, my Mark 1011s. It's actually not even the right one. How did you get on there? One of my Borg beams has gone missing. Oh no, I might have replicated it. Well, that sucks. Because I know I had all 8. Like, this proc used to be good. Because, like, 7.5% chance for an extra 1,000 damage against the Borg. That was nice. That was what people used. You grinded the Borg queues so that you could get the Borg weapons because they were... Everyone played Borg queues because that was basically the only queue. Mark 12 also used to be the cap. Now we got Mark 15, and this proc is useless. I mean, it's not useless. I imagine this would still be alright, but only against Borg, and there's not that much Borg anymore, and the Borg are pushovers anyway. Once upon a day, this ship used to be halfway competent, too. It was never the best, but it was half decent. I still have it for the memories, and the fact it's a mirror ship, so, like, it's not easily replaceable if I were to, you know, get rid of it. Which is kind of the issue I've had. Like, I don't want to get rid of a lot of these things, because I can't get them back. But, like, I would like the slots. Yeah, like even sitting here looking at escorts, like why would you ever play this when this exists? Even tier 5 U'd, the Kazon Heavy Raider is garbage. Complete garbage. This is better. I think this might have built-in Raider flanking, but that doesn't overly matter. Not when literally everyone can have Raider flanking. On anything. And even past that, there's just undoubtedly better things. And, I mean, anything tier 4. Like, the poor Mir Nugvar. Because it can't... Back when tier 5 was the highest thing and there was no tier 5U, this was still a good amount of health. It's not anymore. I have the Hydra for its trait. I have it still fit up with phasers because I had bought it before I had bought this, so I didn't have a hanger pet that dealt phaser damage that was worth using, and now I have the Valkyries, so realistically I could get rid of the Hydra, because I don't escort. I don't. I explode. I just explode. I much prefer my carrier, as you could probably tell by the amount of money I have put into this carrier. The amount of money and the lobies I have put into this character. This carrier. I did this because it was funny. Realistically, with the lobies I had, I probably should have bought, like, the Ultimate Swarm and, you know, the better lobby consoles. But this two-piece looked funny, so I did it. It's part of the issue I have, is I do things that look funny, not effective. It's a real problem. And I'm still trying to figure out how the hell to make this thing deal more damage. The only thing I have come to that is my running get more damage out of this is something I've been slowly working on. Right here. I've been working on them. But at 3, I feel like well, 3 might actually make a difference. But 7, shut up. I don't care about these Scalvians. I mean, I imagine just cannons might also work better too, but at using disruptors, because this happened. This basically became the test bed for, you know, what Tamara's ship was going to be like. I know a lot of the things I need to do to get more damage is traits, because I really don't have weapon-based traits. Because, you know, I've kind of focused into carriers. It's like, I got supercharged, but that's really about it. It's really my only... it's really my only trait. And even here I have traits that I would happily remove to make room for more carrier traits. Like, if I ended up getting Scramble Fighters supercharged, it's going away from the carrier. It's only here now because it adds slightly more damage to me. But yeah, I'm gonna end things off. May as well head to the character select screen, so I can at least be on Tamara. Once she loads. There we go. So, thanks everyone for coming out and watching, and hopefully I'll have another stream back here tomorrow. No guarantees. It's August in Nova Scotia, which means it's incredibly hot. This is our summer. We have a month of it. It's almost over. Be glad when it's over. Literally around like September 10th, the temperatures just suddenly go bloop. And it's great. They return to a normal level that I can handle. But yeah, see y'all next time.